Hey guys, welcome back to another video with InfoSec Pat. This is video 3 of this mini Windows Server 2019 course. In this video, what we're going to be doing is installing an additional domain controller in our current forest. So if you're ready for the video, let's get into it. Thanks guys. Hello guys, welcome back. So this is video 3 of the Windows Server 2019 training videos. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is installing a secondary domain controller, obviously on Windows Server 2019. We have one domain controller that we just did in the last video, and now we're going to be adding an additional domain controller into our environment. All right, so the other way. So this is our primary domain controller that we installed previously, Win2K19 DC01. And this time around, this video, what we're going to be doing is installing Win2K19 DC02. It's going to house Active Directory domain services and DNS. And it's going to have the IP address of 192.168.50.202 with a 24-bit subnet. And we're going to allocate 6 gigs of memory. And it's going to be infosecpat.local. That's going to be our domain that I set up. You can set up your own domain, follow along, and just change up the settings. All right, and my pretty little logo. And this is my host. All right, and then that's it. So let's get started. And let's minimize this. And this is our primary domain controller, like we installed in the last video. We can open up, not group policy, that's my bad, Active Directory users and computers. And we can see our domain controller. We only have one domain controller at the very moment, which is our primary. It has a global catalog and all that stuff, and it's in the site of Florida. That's when we changed the sites and services name the other day. So now we have DC02. This is a clean install, same process of installation. And let's log into this bad boy, all right? Let's go ahead and log in with our fancy password. Okay, so we're gonna log in. Obviously, we're gonna have to configure some IP address settings. We're gonna be setting up, changing the computer name and doing a few little things before we promote this and add the Active Directory domain services role, all right? So let's make sure everything boots up good. So once we go to local server, when it boots, when it likes to think. All right, so right here we have DHCP. We don't want DHCP, so we're going to assign an IP address that we had in our slide, which first, before that, I want to go to properties, and I want to disable IPv6 because we're not using IPv6 right now. And I'm going to assign the IP address of 192.168.50.202 with a 24-bit subnet. That's in dotted decimal. 192.168.50.1 is my gateway. And the DNS server, the primary domain controller, is going to be our primary DC. So it's 192.168.50.201. And then I can just use Google's just to get out on the internet. All right, so we can just do a validate. It's just a habit, I always do that. And it should take a second. And now we have internet access. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. So we X out of there. Now refresh. We should see the IP address on ETH0 or Ethernet 0. Perfect. So let's go ahead and change the computer name. We're going to change this name to Win2K19-DC02. Whoops, DC02. All right. So I'm going to hit OK here. Okay, close. I want to say restart later. I want to make a few more changes in here. I want to disable this because it's just a pain in the butt. Everything else should be okay. We're in the Eastern time zone. We have our IP address and our firewall is on here, but at the domain level, it's disabled like we set it up in our previous video, and we should be good. So let's go ahead and reboot this computer, this server. Let's reboot. Excuse me. And once this reboots, and then we'll get started installing Active Directory domain services and DNS and adding all that good stuff. And if you guys are following along, I would highly recommend, don't jump around the videos, because then you're going to be a little lost. Unless you know, this is pretty much aimed for the audience of trying, for sysadmins trying to get into the field, don't really understand too much of Active Directory, setting it up. And obviously there's a whole bunch of videos I have written down: file servers, read-only domain controllers, Cisco, Windows Server Core, whole bunch of cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. All right, so let's log into here. All right, so we can log in, and now we're going to go to the server manager once it opens. Slow motion for me, baby. All right, so this should be good. We can fix this right now. We can see what the services are. And so download, diagnostic. So we can just go like this. Tools. If you guys are getting this, this is what you have to do. Go into your services and go to, we can make it bigger. Download. It was a download one. Download manager maps. We can go ahead and manual start. Okay. And the other one was, let's see, what was the other one? Diagnostic policy service. Diagnostic policy service. We can automatic start, apply, okay, and upload orchestrator and user. So it's all the way down here. Update, okay, hit start, it's fine. And then the other one was what? My memory shot, sorry guys. User access login service. User access login service. Automatic, boom. Okay, so now if we go okay here, we refresh this, it should all be green. Hopefully, maybe I know a little bit about computers. All right, cool. So that's all good. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to tools. I mean, not tools, manage, my bad. Add roles and features. And what we're gonna do here is hit next. We're gonna go ahead and hit role based, okay? And right now we're going to make this a domain controller. So we can go to next. Right here, you see Active Directory domain services. All right, once you click on that, you can just hit add features. It's gonna install the group policy management, remote service administration tools, etc., all these cool stuff, right? So let's go to next. Go to next. Go to next. Go to install. We'll let that install, do its thing, and then we'll have to promote it to a domain controller, and then we'll add DNS and the global catalog and all that good stuff. This should only take a few minutes, just like the primary DC. It shouldn't take very long, maybe about a minute or so. So, this is going to be a cool little series, and I'm really enjoying, putting it together, writing some ideas down, and going through the video content, and really enjoying this. So hopefully you guys are too. You guys are learning something, and all that. And like I said, in previous videos, please stay safe from this crazy coronavirus. Hopefully you guys are staying quarantined. You guys can watch YouTube videos, you can learn from different platforms. It's awesome. Just stay safe, please. So we'll give this a few minutes, and while that's going, we can go back here and we can see nothing, because nothing's shown up yet. But let's see. Well, this is our primary DC. All right, cool. Right here, bada bing. So this is done. I just trying to kill a few seconds. I don't know. I'm crazy sometimes. All right, so promote this server to a domain controller. Let's click on that. And then right here, we have add a domain controller to an existing domain, add a domain to an existing forest, add a new domain. So what we're going to do is add a domain controller to an existing domain. All right, because we're not doing a new forest, right? We're going to be joining this one. So the domain is going to be InfoSec Pat, okay? And we're going to have to log in as the administrator. Whoa. Administrator, if I can spell. And then I'll fancy password, okay? And select right there. This is our domain. We can change this now. We can do InfoSec Pat backslash or forward slash, whatever that slash is, administrator, and then password. Okay. Now we're going to be logging into the domain with those credentials. All right. So we hit next. See right here, we're going to be doing DNS server. We're going to be installing this as a global catalog, and the site, we only have one site right now, which is Florida. That's perfectly fine. And this is our directory services restore mode password, just in case Active Directory crashes, and et cetera, but make sure you save this in a safe place, because if you don't have this, you're not going to be in good shape if your AD crashes. All right, hit next. Hit next. So replicate. We only have one domain at this very moment, but I'm going to say any domain controllers, okay? Hit next. I want to hit same next. I want to have everything as defaults. And you can view the script. You know, it's going to infosec.local, the domain, the Florida site, et cetera, et cetera. You can save this and do whatever you like with it. Now we can go to next. Now we're going to go ahead and wait. Give that a minute. Boom. All the prerequisites passed successfully. Now we can install and let that go on its merry way. Once this is finished, we should be able to see this domain controller in domain controllers here. It's not there yet, but we'll give it some time. And once it's done, then we're going to go into sites and services as well on both servers, and we can see it in the site of Florida. All right, so right here, boom, it's already there. That was pretty quick. So we have our sites, we have our servers, we have server 1, DC1, DC2, both global catalog servers. Let's go to AD now. Let's go to domain controllers. Let's refresh this bad boy, and now we see it. Boom. Now let's go back to DC2, and now it rebooted. It was faster than us, but usually to take effect, it would reboot. So that's going to take a few minutes to reboot, and once that reboots, we'll log in as the domain administrator instead of the local. And the way we're going to verify if we're logged in, because some people don't know if they're logged in, I'll show you a command, which is very simple. I think I did it on the last video as well. Once you're logged into your Windows machine, you can use a command called who am I, and you can see who you are. I'm logging in as InfoSec Pat /administrator, or you can use the set command. Okay, and then in the set command, you can see what domain you're logging into, which is right here. Nope, right here, InfoSec Pat. All right, so let's go check up on DC02. DC02, it's going to take a few minutes because it just installed Active Directory, all that fun stuff. And once that's done, once that is done, let's open up group policy. And okay, so this is on the forest level. And once we go back to our Active Directory, so anything that's applied at this level of the forest, that firewall group policy is being applied. I just wanted to verify that. So let's go back to DC02. We'll give this a few minutes. And while this is going, we'll just hang out on DC01. Let's see what else we can check out in here. We can actually look at the DNS. Let's look at DNS really quick. We can open up here, you can see Active Directory, the roles on the server, Active Directory Domain Services, DNS, File and Storage Services, Local Servers, and all servers. All right, so let's go to DNS. So we'll go to Tools, DNS, and we'll go to DNS, forward lookup zones, InfoSec Pat. We see both of our records here, which is good. So that's that. Okay, so that's good. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and do a control delete, and we're going to log in as InfoSec Pat / administrator, and this is the administrator password that you created on your domain. Okay, so that's your domain admin password. And so now, once we log in, I'm going to show you a few things to verify if this is an actual domain controller. Obviously, you can see that, but there's some commands to actually verify that. So let's open up command prompt. So what we can run is net dom space query space DC, and you can see, and this stands for domain controller. You can see both of my domain controllers are here. But what if you want to say what is the FSMO, FSMO? We can see the FSMOs are probably going to be running on DC01, because I never moved them. So we'll give that a second, maybe a couple seconds, maybe more than a couple seconds. All right, let's go. Chop chop. All right, so see here, all the FSMOs are schema master, domain name master, PDC, primary domain controller, the RID pool master, the infrastructure master is all running on DC01. All right, cool. So now let's go on to DC02, go to tools, we'll open up Active Directory users computers, we'll open up sites and services, and we'll open up group policy management. All three of those, hopefully I don't blow up the server. And let's just, I want to pin them here. So usually when you're a system admin, you're going to probably, play with these a lot. So let's open up our group policy and see if our firewall policy is here. Boom, it is here. And we can go to settings, on here, Oop. And we can hit show all, and we can see all the settings that we created in that previous video. Okay, so now let's go to sites and services, sites, Florida, servers. We should see 2 servers, DC1 and DC2. Perfect. All right, and they're both global catalog, and we should be good. We can go to properties here, and you can see the location, you can see the object, you can see the security of it, and attribute editor if you want to make some changes, but I don't recommend any. But yeah, so that's that. So the last thing I want to do, just to show you that these, because the next one I'm going to do is a read-only domain controller, and we'll get into why you want to create read-only. It's a security thing, but I'll get into that in the next video. So let's go into Florida users, and we're on DC02 now. So we're going to create a new user, okay? And I'm just going to put, user 1, okay? Copy this, user 1, and then user cannot never expires, and I want to put my fancy password that I use for my testing. All right, next, finished. All right, so that's on DC01, excuse me, DC02. Let's go to DC01. Let's exit out of here for now. And we should wrap this up by going to Florida, users, and bada bing, let's refresh. Don't make me look silly. Refresh. Refresh. Did I put it in users? Maybe I'm dumb. Yeah, put it in users. Give it a second to replicate. Shouldn't take that long, but let's refresh the whole. Really strange. Where is this guy? Let me X out of here. This is strange. Let me open up Active Directory again. What we can also do, just to check it out, we can go onto the sites and services and we can right click on here. Right click, all tasks, wait a minute. All right, let's refresh this. Okay, let's go here, NTDS settings. Okay, NTDS settings, okay, everything's there, so what's going on here? Let's refresh this. All right, so everything is here. It's weird that it's not showing up yet. I didn't put it in here. No, I'm not that stupid. This is very interesting because it should show up. We'll give it a second to when it replicates. We can force it with a command. Let's do something really quick because I want to show you that it actually works, that it's replicating. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I apologize. I think I forgot a step when this came back up. Let's go to local server. DNS might be a little screwy. Let's go into here. This is DC02. And let's look at the DNS settings. And yeah, so on this one, since this is a DNS server, we want to make this 201. We want to make this 201. And then 192.168. Oh shoot. Crap. Sorry. So let's do this again. So your preferred DNS server on your DC02 should be your primary, which is 201, and this would be 192.168.50.202. Okay, and then we'll go to DNS. We'll edit this. We'll change this to 8.8.8.8 so we can get on the internet. And let's see now if we can have some action. That's my bad. Just little details you always forget. Now let's see if we go back to here, refresh, and now let's go on to DC01, refresh. There you go. So that's my bad. So see, sometimes DNS can be very tricky. You have to make sure your DNS is to the T, because if it's not, you're gonna go bananas. So that was that. And now you see, now we're gonna be on DC01. We're gonna create one more so you can see it in action quicker, because it shouldn't take that long, but obviously I forgot to change my DNS. I got too excited. So I'm gonna do user 2, copy this, Control A, Control C, and Control V. Next, I wanna put my fancy password. All right, and then user cannot change, blah, 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 next. Now we have user 2 on DC1. Now let's go to DC2 and X out of here because I fixed DNS, refresh, it should be here. There you go. There you go. So to sum it up, we'll go back here and we added a secondary domain controller, and we have 2 domain controllers in our environment. The next one we'll do is an RODC, which is a read-only domain controller. So hopefully you liked it. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and like always, have a good night, have a good day. Until next time, we'll be tuning in. Cheers. Thanks.